Hey everybody, what we have here is a air fryer made by Yedi Houseware. I was actually curious about air fryers, I'd say for maybe about like a year or so. And believe it or not, my dad actually got one just around December of last year. So that was a pretty interesting. So what I figured I'll do is I'll just kind of give you an overview of the air fryer itself, show you the accessories that we get, and towards the end, or middle, whatever you want to call it, we'll make something in the fryer itself. Okay, so I just turned it around just so there's less glare on it from the window over there. So here's a little overview of the product itself. There's something inside. There's a nice window, electronic control, and the dimensions of the fryer is such. It's about 14.5 inches tall, just over a foot wide, or just over 12 inches, and the depth, including the handle, is about 12.5 inches. So all not too bad of a size. Some may consider it on the larger side, but all things considered, I think it's okay. And just give you a little shot. There's some vents on top. There's the fan vent on the back. And just some stuff over here as well. And let's go ahead and show you some of the accessories. One of them is already inside here. Here's a basket. Here's a catch pan for any oil or grease. And you get several other accessories here. You have a standard rack right here. You have two screens here. I'm going to call them pizza screens. I guess they could be used for pizza or for like wings or something. So it is pretty nice that you get two of those. And you also have like a rotating cage-like thing right here, as you can see. It would just fit on the rotisserie thing and it would go like this. Kind of cool. And let's see here. And you get a ton of things. You have a bunch of kebab rods here. I guess I'll call it that. And basically the way it works is these fit into this accessory right here. And when you attach it to the rotisserie, you put your stuff on there, and that's how it works. And right here is the rotisserie rod, I want to call it. And I'll show that to you how that works in just a second. And you have this really fancy cage thing right here. I don't know what you would put inside this to cook, but I mean, it is pretty interesting that they give you that kind of accessory. And the metal on these accessories does feel really nice. It doesn't feel too cheap. It does feel like pretty strong, so that's good. So basically what I can show you is here's that rod again. And what it does is it basically goes through the middle here. There, if I can get it through. There we go. And it goes through the middle like so, to the other side. And as you can see, when it's on the rotisserie, it rotates. See? Pretty cool. And one other thing, let me just put this back down here. Okay, I'll leave it in there for now. And they also give these two fancy mitts here, obviously to grab the hot rack or something when you need to. And if you feel uncomfortable without using these, you can always just use a standard oven mitt or something. That's totally fine. And this device here is actually pretty fancy. This is actually used to take out like that cage or that rack out when it's in the oven and really hot. And let me go ahead and show you an example on here of how this works. So let's say for this example, this is inside the oven right now and you want to take it out. Basically what you would do is you would take this right here, and as you can see, it hooks right onto these two things on the end. You kind of lift up and take it out just like that. So that's a nice safe way of getting something hot out of there. So it is nice that they give you this device. Pretty cool fancy thing for sure. And we'll go inside and show you what options you have inside the oven. So let's open it up. We'll go ahead and take out this basket. And you do have a few things right here. You have a setting here, here, and right here is where you hook on a rotisserie, as you can see. And you have this level right here. So it's like your standard 3-level thing as to where you want to put your rack or your basket, wherever. And right up top there, see if I can get in on that, there's the heating coil, and that metal thing you see up there is the fan. So we'll see how all that comes into play pretty soon. And over here in the owner's manual, one of the things it says to do is before first use is, you should clean, just wipe the interior with just a cloth. And it says to clean all these accessories, which I've obviously done by this point. And the other thing it says to do is you want to turn on the oven just for a little bit, just to possibly burn off anything that's in there from the factory. And it said to do it at 350 for 5 minutes. I went a step further, and I actually did 10 minutes. And I think if you're going to use this oven, I would recommend doing it for 10 minutes instead, because it gives just a little bit extra time to make sure everything is safely off of there before you use it for the first time. Let's go ahead and show you what the control panel looks like. I want to apologize in advance for my reflection there, as you can see, but that's just how it's designed. So you can see your options here. And you can see it gives you a number of presets on there, which is pretty cool. And it does allow you to change the temperature and the time of the presets, which is really nice. So it gives you that. It also gives you a manual if you want to just do your own thing. It gives you a number of options. Simple enough. That's your light, delay start, and the on-off button. And you have your rotisserie option here, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and plug it in and show you what it does. Now, this is not the first time I've used it, so I'm going to know exactly what happens, but I'm sure some of you might be curious to see. So here we go. So when you first plug it in, the control panel is going to do kind of like a light test, if you want to call it that. Let me just go ahead and plug it in. Make sure I'm facing it. Just like that. And as you can see, it has, very interesting, it has a red display, which is kind of nice. Normally, everything you see these days is blue. Now, I'm a fan of blue in general, but it is nice to see a different color display for a change. And one thing I can tell you is that I don't think this thing really flickers at all. Like, I'll move my head rapidly left and right to check. It doesn't seem to flicker, so that's really nice. So when it's plugged in, basically it's your standard electronic control. One thing I do like, though, is that until you hit the on-off button, these buttons don't respond at all. And I like that. I like the fact that this like does its purpose, if you want to call it that. Now, what is pretty cool is if you open the door, you can see the top displays dashes. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's just like a door open indicator or something. So that is kind of cool. And then when you close it, it turns off. So let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it does. All right. As you can see, your temperature and your time display 0 because nothing is set yet. What is pretty cool is that when you open the door while it's on, the light comes on automatically, which is pretty cool. And can you change it if you want? Yeah, you can, but actually, does that change it when you close it? Let's see. Yeah, okay, it reverts back. Yeah, so when you open the door while it's on, the light comes on automatically, which is kind of nice. You have an incandescent bulb right there. And, yep, and then when you close it up, again, it turns off. And let me just go ahead and show you the presets that you have here. So to choose one of the things that you want, you simply go to Menu. And manual by default is 250, 20 minutes. And if you want to change that, you go to Temp Timer here. You can see that starts blinking, so we'll just, for the heck of it, put it to 300. And now, one thing I kind of don't like is, I don't like that they put plus on the left and minus on the right. That is kind of like counterintuitive, because normally going to the right means more. So there is that. And then if you hit timer, oh, okay, because it timed out. Go to timer, there we go. You can change it to, okay, there we go. And I'm assuming if you hold it down, it goes faster. Let me see, go to minus. Yeah, okay, it goes by 10-minute increments, so that's pretty cool. And then, so we'll go to the other presets. You got French fries, pizza, wings, chicken, all that good stuff. You get the basic idea. And then when you're ready to start, you just select that and then hit the on button and it starts going. Although I'm curious about something. Will this operate right now? Let's see. I just hit the rotisserie button. No, nothing's happening yet, probably because it's not cooking yet. So I'll show you that rotisserie button in a minute. And if you want to cancel it, you just got to hit this 3 times. Like that, okay? And just quickly, I'll show you some examples of recipes that they give you in the booklet here. Like Bruce Lee's barbecue chicken. Just plain bacon, because you don't need anything else. That's pretty good. Yeah, see, it shows you nice, very appetizing pictures. Shows you exactly how to cut things, what size everything should be. Very, very fancy recipes that it gives you. So that is pretty nice. One interesting thing about this I meant to say is it doesn't say anything about preheating the air fryer. Now, I've actually never preheated it for what I've made in there, and when my dad made some pizza in there, so or reheated it, I should say. So maybe you don't have to do that or something while it's doing that. So it is interesting that there's no preheat thing. So maybe you don't have to do that. And there's some sweet potato fries. All right, you get the idea. All right, so let's go ahead and make something in here. So simple enough. Why not make some fries? I'm a huge fan of the crinkle fries. I've always liked those since I was a kid, and I still like them today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit less than I normally do, because normally I make this for 3 people, myself and my folks. And since it's just me here, I'm going to make a little bit less than I normally do. Probably just put enough on there just to cover the bottom of the rack, I guess. I guess even for one person, this is a bit much too. But, I just want to give you guys a nice full example of this, if you want to call it that. And I'll probably adjust the preset time just because this is only for one person and there's less fries in here. So you actually can put a good amount in here, and it will still cook it evenly with the air movements and everything. So I guess I'll just have a little bit less here for just this one person, myself. All right, so let's go ahead. We will open it up. And I like to put this on the level just below the rotisserie, so I guess that'd be considered the middle. All right, like so. So we go ahead and close it up, turn it on, and we're going to put it on fries, or French fries, and I'm going to lower that time to 15 minutes. We'll see how that goes. So hit this, put it down to 15, okay, and then you simply hit on again, and it starts going. Now the amount of noise this makes will change as it runs, because it has a variable speed fan. And I think normally when the fan really revs up, that means it's up to temperature, and then it lowers again when it needs to heat again some more. I don't know if it does that because it's programmed to, or because there's less draw from the coil, but regardless, it does an okay job for what it is. But yeah, as you can hear, it's running right now. And there's air coming out of this vent, which will warm up as it goes. I'll tell you right now, one complaint I do have about this is that, I guess this kind of happens with regular ovens too, is that what's in the back tends to cook a little bit more than what's on the front. So maybe about roughly halfway through the cooking process, you will have to take the rack out, or basket, whatever, turn it around, and then continue on. Maybe it's different when you just use the rack or the basket, or the screens. But in this case, at some point you will see that the back will get cooked a little bit more than the front. So you may have to turn it around kind of halfway through. So what I'll do for now is I'll turn on the light, just like that. And you can see everything's going. You probably can't see it, but maybe you can. The fan's running right up there. Hey, you can kind of see it. And yeah, as this runs, it'll just heat up like normal. Looking pretty good so far. And while we're waiting here, let me see if I can show you that rotisserie now, just for show. I'll hit the rotisserie button. Okay. And, oh yep, if you look now you can see the thing's turning. Yep, so it does work, which is good. Alright, so we will let this cook, and when it comes time to take out or turn around, like I said, we will continue from there. Alright, just for show, we got about 8 minutes left here. Now you can see a little bit of bubbling on the fries. That's good. Actually, still looking pretty even, which I'm happy about. Maybe the less time will help that. Probably not, but just nice to see the back isn't too browned yet, so that's good. All right, so when it comes time to turn this around, if it comes time to, I will show you how to do that. All right, guys. Maybe as you can see that the camera's not picking up too well, but we're getting some browning on the fries in the back, but not so much on the front. So we got 4 minutes left, and that should be enough time to, believe me, to make it even. So what we'll do is we'll open it up, and we'll try to turn around the basket. Of course, just be extremely careful when you do this. And it will pause where you leave it off. But the fries are looking pretty good so far. I think so. Okay. Put it right in the top there, or in the middle, I should say. Okay, close it back up. And when you close the door, it'll resume right where it left off, which is really good. So now the ones here have a little bit more browning than back there. So again, that is one thing, just you're going to have to turn it around at some point just for more evenness, I guess. But all in all, it's not too bad. Okay, so we shall let this finish, and we will see it when it's all done. Alright, so we got about 30 seconds left or so. And yeah, sometimes you'll hear a click and you'll hear the fan really rev up. That's because it's the coil shutting off. It's up to temperature. And it'll do that at the end too. So, almost done. Looking pretty good. So yeah, this thing cooks at a good time, I would say. Definitely. As he just turned right back on there. So, yeah, overall, I'd say, aside from having to turn it around, it does good. Alright, as you can see, when it's all done, it does those beeps, and it goes to 0. And as you can hear, the fan is still running. It kind of does a cool down or something. But when you open the door, it'll stop that. So, the handle's cool to the touch, but I'll just use the oven mitt, just because I have to grab the basket anyway. So let's take out the fries. Okay. And yeah, these actually look pretty good. They definitely look cooked, that's for sure. Very nice. Go ahead and shake them on this thing here as neatly as I can. As you can see, they don't stick to one another, which is really nice. All right, and then, oh, put that back. There we go. And then when you're all done, you can just put it back inside here. Okay. And one cool thing I can show you is that if you turn this off while the door's open, it goes back to the dashes for the door open. That's kind of cool. All right, so that's all set. And here are the fries. I'd say they look pretty good. They feel like they're good and cooked. They feel crispy already. I haven't eaten one yet, but yeah, going to be very, very pleased about this. All right, so let's salt them up a little bit and then see how they are. All right, so I'll try to keep the camera away from my face so you guys don't hear me eating. Yeah, let's go ahead and try one and see how it is. Very good. Very good. I would say maybe for this reduced number of fries, maybe 1 to 2 minutes more would be a little bit better. But aside from that, it's very good. The inside is nice and soft. The outer part is, it's not crunchy, but it has a little bit of a crisp to it. But I would say for the amount of fries I put in here, I'd say 1 to 2 more minutes would definitely do the job. Definitely. Some are very good. Some are a little on the soft side, but I would say overall, this was very good. So 1 to 2 more minutes of this amount of fries would probably be perfect for it. And obviously, of course, you can use, you know, any typical condiment you want with your fries. You know, you could use ketchup. You could use whoever likes buffalo sauce. Try buffalo sauce as a French fry condiment. It's really good. I guarantee you'll like it. And yeah, so go ahead and just enjoy what you have there. I will, of course, say that, you know, they may taste a little bit different or like less, if you want to call it that, because you didn't fry them in oil. But in all seriousness, I still think it's very good. It's still very good to have even without the oil. And plus, you know, a little less fattening, definitely, if you're just air frying them instead of using the oil. And of course, overall, it'll take some experimentation. You know, everyone has different preferences, you know, things like different food preferences, like different heating times, whatever. So, you know, basically just do it to your liking, and whatever it comes out to, I'm sure you'll be satisfied with it. And very satisfied with those fries. And to do cleanup, obviously, once it cools down, you can just open it up. And in the case of these fries, you can just give a simple wipe down of the basket, of the pan, and you should be fine. It'll vary with different foods. Just keep that in mind. But overall, not too bad at all. All right, guys, and there you go. There is the Yedi Air Fryer. Very happy with this product. It's coming handy in many circumstances. Less oil usage, obviously, and just really doesn't get in the way of anything in the counter when we have to use it. So really, overall, I'm very satisfied with this. The stuff we put in there is coming out great so far. Fries and pizza, and I'm sure in the future we'll try some other things. But overall, if you're looking for an air fryer, get this. Very happy with it. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.